Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast on the planet. Prepare to reevaluate everything you've been taught.
They have the power. We have the numbers now. It's all just a constant illusion of control. They break us like horses.
And they can tell us we're crazy. And we can say, well, you haven't seen anything yet.
Everything you knew was a goddamn lie. Would you up and explode like it's the 4th of July? Possessed by perfection in this land, if you're awake, you're the enemy. Every day a new deception. Pick your scene and take direction. And on a search to connect. But I don't wear a mask and I have no regret. Down on your knees, you don't look so tall. Open your eyes and the empire falls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. We sit here today on day 2 in Ontario of first class and second class citizens. It's fascinating. Honestly, we're watching this strange peculiarity play out. This new narrative, this I don't even know. Obviously it's a control thing. And what I'm referring to, of course, is COVID. This vaccination narrative. And when you look at all of this stuff, and this is one of those topics that I kind of wanted to dismiss for a while. I'm sick of talking about it, but it won't go away. It keeps coming back to the forefront. And I think my specific problem with this is every single time something comes up, humanity loses more and more rights and or freedoms. And if you think about your rights and or freedoms right now, every single thing the government has taken from you as a right and then sold back to you is referred to as a license. You need a license to drive, hunt, fish, etc. And it's peculiar. And we just keep letting it happen and happen and happen. And now, since we're all woke and we can't fight each other over sexes or over race, which is what they drove us to do for years and years and years, it now has to be medical segregation. So the television is telling us that the unvaxxed are dangerous. The unvaxxed aren't dangerous. The vaxxed aren't dangerous either. I mean, if we as a society could get over the idea that we need to be on one side or the other, since I'm vaccinated, you can't be vaccinated. It's a mess, right? And I say this almost as like an all cry to everyone out there. If you're pro-vax, that's cool. If you're anti-vax, that's cool. If you're going to be a dick about either position you maintain, that's not cool. So I know that we all have our information. We all have our knowledge, right? But let's talk about anti-vaxxers for a second. Anti-vaxxers, it's such a derogatory term and I hate it. But they're using it, so I'm going to use it in the context right now. Anti-vaxxers the extreme ones. You know, they're putting chips in our vaccines. They're changing the human DNA, the genome, the blah blah blah. And then the pro-vaxxers are like, we're all dying. You're going to kill grandma if you don't get vaccinated. Now think about this for a second. Grandmas aren't dying. Your Facebook friends aren't dropping like flies. This whole narrative for the pro-vaxxers it's a bit absurd. You really have to stretch to believe it. Now for the anti-vaxxers, if you really think that they're going to put microchips in your DNA or in the vaccines, you know, that's a bit off as well. Truth is, on the conspiracy side of things, if these guys really wanted to get in, or if they really wanted to do anything, they would just do it. They would just put it in the chicken. They would put it in the food. They would put this stuff in and around everything. So, as much as I don't care for the vaccine, I obviously don't, and I'm never going to put it in my body, and that's just the way I am. Sorry if that's going to cause me to lose listeners. I will never get this vaccine. It is absurd. However, I'm not going to, diminish or knock anybody that did get it, because every last one of us has done the research that we've done. Some of us haven't done any at all. Others have done so much that it's painful. But no matter which way you go and no matter what tools you use to get the information, every last ounce of it on both sides of the fence is skewed. So you'll be able to find extremes for what you're looking for on either side of the argument. That's how the internet works. Based on how you punched in what you punched in and your past searches, it's going to hand you stuff that's going to fuel your fire. So when you're engaging other individuals, remember that it's your peace of mind, right? We're working with your peace of mind. So if you're a pro-vaxxer, anti-vaxxer, whatever, understand too that, for the pro-vaxxers out there, understand that an anti-vaxxer isn't an anti-vaxxer, because every single quote unquote anti-vaxxer out there more than likely has a vaccine in them from some point in their life. And just because we're against this particular vaccine doesn't mean we wouldn't take another one. But it certainly made us all look at all the other ones and what their true validity was. We understand the debate. Wow, vaccines cured polio. Right, but who put polio in us in the first place? Biscottios. There are no natural viruses as far as things go. There are diseases and there are parts of your body that demonstrate when you're falling apart, when parts of your body are falling apart, it's demonstrating that this is the body trying to fix something else that's taken place. Cancer, for example, is not the thing. Cancer is a result of the thing. And in this particular case, and in many different cancers, every single thing is a result. Like the food that we eat, the cigarettes that we smoke, the wine that we consume, the stuff that we put on our skin to block out the sun because they've told us the sun causes cancer. Now we can go down this rabbit hole all you want, but this isn't about rabbit holes. This episode, believe it or not, is about unity. I am officially a second-class citizen because I choose to believe that this whole narrative is sketchy as I don't like it. I don't care if I don't like the way it goes. I don't like listening to people who still consume fluoride on a regular basis tell me their opinions. I don't like that. But I'm not going to stop them. I'm going to use the opportunity to explain a few things to a few people if it seems doable. There are other times too where you can have these exchanges with people and you can not engage. There are some people out there that just want to fight. And why would you allow them to have access to your energy? It's not appropriate, in my opinion, to give everyone, it's not, what's the word, spiritually hygienic to give everyone access to you. So don't do it. Now let's talk about something. I'll touch back on this again, but I want to talk about the big kapow, the big Kelly Kapowski right here for all you 80s fans. Segregation. We are literally living through segregation right now. I went to the gym, a place where I go to get healthy and to stay healthy and to maintain things and to break stresses and a nice escape from a lot of things. The gym is a very good place to go. I'm not allowed to go there anymore. I am not allowed. And a bad part of that, I mean, we'll get into the major things here for sure, but man, for the past few times I was in there, the conversations came up, you know? It was impromptu. I don't know. People asking, how long have you been here? Oh, since day one. Until Wednesday, when I have to leave, when I'm being forced out of my own gym. Because I don't believe that sticking some sort of chemical compound in your arm is good for you. My whole life, I'm no saint, right? I'm no saint. And so many people want to fucking point the finger, and it's ridiculous. They want to take your story and they want to take your beliefs and they want to insult you, right? Oh, we all know what that conversation's all about, right? Ad hominem, or they attack you straw man, where they just start throwing random shit at you. Like, fuck, come on. Like, what are you doing? Are we having a conversation right here? Or are you trying to beat me over the head with your point? A point that is clearly obvious to anyone who watches the news. Not so obvious to anyone that tries to do a little thinking. And that is not an insult to everyone that watches the news and doesn't think. It might be, actually, but they're not listening to this show, so that's okay too. Humanity thinks that they think. Humanity thinks that they're prowess, they're righteous, they're something. But anyone that goes deeper into themselves understands that they're not. Every single ounce of anything I've ever opened up has literally had me shutting my mouth. The more I know, the more I realize the less I know. And that is ultra cliche, but so very true. It's such a crazy thing. So let's get back to segregation. Man, it's not that long ago that segregation was running rampant in the black community. We had separate classrooms. We had people riding different sides of the buses. We had people apart. And if they're apart, they're not talking. And if I'm in the gym, and just like I was saying, I was talking to them, I was sharing my ideas, and these people were coming at me aggressively. But I have a calm energy about me these days, and it allowed me to take their aggression, laugh at them a little bit, and then calmly explain to them diffusing situations or scenarios or things that they may not have thought about, whilst the CNN burns ideas into their brain. And I'm not going to knock CNN on this one. CNN or Fox, it's literally all garbage. Because if you look at CNN or Fox, and if you watch this stuff, if you think that I don't watch the news, but I do watch this, that, and the other thing, it's still a derivative of aggression. It's going to show you stuff that you want to see, depending on your point of view. You're going to choose the shows you want to watch, depending on your point of view. And you're not going to watch the other ones, because fuck those guys. What do they know? Meanwhile, everybody else is out there watching the other shows that you're not watching. So nobody's arguing the same points, and everyone's just collectively getting more and more divided. With segregation now taking place in 2021, there's not going to be anybody in the gym to defend these points. There's not going to be anybody that is vaxxed versus unvaxxed together collectively in places. Strangers talking to strangers about ideas. If you give me $1 and I give you $1, we both still only have $1. But if you give me an idea and I give you an idea, we now have 2 ideas. That's been taken from us. I don't know how long it's going to last. I know that England has already stopped it. Actually, I don't know that. I heard somewhere. I don't even know what the hell's going on in England. I'm just able to reiterate certain things and ideas. But I'm not allowed to go to the gym. I'm not allowed to go to the movies, and I'm not allowed to go to restaurants. How long is this going to last here? How long until these gyms, these restaurants say, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're losing business, 25% of our business out the door. Not only 25% of your business immediately out the door, but anybody that says, Steve can't go, he can't go, so we're not going to go. Let's go to that other restaurant that doesn't discriminate. So now, because the anti-vaxxers, as people want to call us, aren't really that aggressive, we're just like, I'm not down with it. Like, however you want to vilify me, that's cool. I'm not down with it. We'll just find somebody who's accommodating and we'll adapt. But eventually this is going to speak volumes, because right now there's nothing you and I can do. And that's a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. On the grand scheme of things, you can't walk up to somebody in Parliament and be like, stop this immediately. It just doesn't work that way. What you can do is vote with your dollars. You can go to the restaurants that support unity, not segregation. And then eventually the big box stores will say, well, we can't do this anymore. Mind you, the big box stores aren't affected because you can still go to Walmart and Target and all this other shit. but you can't go to the little places. So we watch this stuff, and then we watch like the Emmys and shit like that, and nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody cares. There's just so much more proof that like they, the quote unquote elite, are running rickshaw over us, the observer, the weak, the downtrodden, what have you, the slaves. We're the slaves. We're the peasants feeding these egos of these people whilst they entertain us so that we don't pay attention to who we truly are and what we can truly accomplish. Divide and conquer. Keep us dumb. Inject you with fluoride. Inject you with this crap. Who knows? Who knows what's in the vaccine? It could, honestly, it would not surprise me in the absolute least if the vaccine was completely placebo. And the whole intention and purpose of it was division. Create a divide so that the people fight the people. And nobody pays attention to why they're fighting each other. It's such an obscure moment. I've never been more, I don't even know what the term is. I've never been more confused. Like, how do I feel? I run out of words to say the things I want to say about what's going on. And it's not even frustration. So like, it's not like an anger-based frustration by any means. It's like, this is what it is. I can do what I can do with what I have. I can understand what I need to do. I can make adjustments. I can catch the wind, adjust my sails, move in a different direction. And everyone's going to say, well, what does that have to do with the masses? If everyone just buries their head, you know? And that's not a head burial to me. It's an understanding and a comprehension of who's got what and where and how I can now shift to benefit these people. Because here's the plus with segregation. Right now, with segregation, right now we're being divided. But what happens when you start spreading people apart as much as they're doing right now, and in such a tiny space, what you're actually doing is pushing like-minded people together. There are going to be more people. Yesterday was incredible. The amount of people that reached out to me, you know, I've been watching you for months, for years. You know, I've been following the podcast. I've been following your Instagram, your Facebook. You're posting so much good material, and you seem to be living a half decent life. What are you doing? How are you working online? How are you making a go of it? You know, and a lot of people wanted to talk, and a lot of people got fired. Man, does that ever suck? Sucks so bad. So bad. I would love to put people on blast right now. Companies that fired people, because there's a few of them that are personal, but I'm not going to put anyone on blast. That's just not my style. You know, anyone can talk shit about anything. All I know is if you're listening to this show, you know exactly who you are. And the fact that you stood down and embraced segregation is a fucking embarrassment. And I'll just put that out there to you, to anyone that may know who, what, where, and what is. Cowardice does not serve the day, but it also is a point in time right now where we can refresh, regroup, and understand. You've been pulled back. You've been withdrawn from what you want to do. And now it's shocking. So for the next couple of days, it's going to be shocking. I fully intend to go from here up to the lake house and just basically cut wood and be in nature and set things up for the future and sort of prepare. I have a new microphone. I'll be able to try it up there. It's not the hardwired one that we've got going on down here. It won't be the SM7B. So the next few episodes may be a little bit different in sound quality, but I'll do my best not to. Shure simply makes a beautiful microphone. This is not an ad for Shure by any means, but I'm telling you, if you're into podcasting, get an SM7B. There's so much that goes on. There's so much that continues. There's so much that will fall out from this. There's so many possibilities of what comes next. Maybe we turn our back on this. Maybe we disallow it. Maybe we. But what we do know is it's happened now. It was an idea. It was thoughtful. The government pushed it through. The government said, you cannot be a part of society. How in the world is this freedom? Where does the freedom begin? And there are so many people that'll be like, well, if you just trust the doctors and trust the science. How many times have you seen the doctors and the medicines with horrible side effects that were found out years later? I don't trust all when it comes to this shit. And I don't care if you do or if you don't or however you position it. But when somebody who isn't you and who isn't me says that we can't stand next to each other and that seniors in senior centers have to see each other through windows. What the fuck is going on with society? Can we not collectively stand up and unify? If you're pro-vax, cool. If you're anti-vax, cool. But why do we have to fight each other? Why do we have to fight each other? Why can't some people have a vaccine and other people can't? Our entire lives, some people have been vaccinated and other people haven't. I haven't taken a flu shot my whole life. The last vax I got, I was too young to know what was going on. I was a child and they said, here, they stick it in my arm. I drank fluoride. I consumed fluoride for the better part of my adult life because I didn't know any better. You make choices. We make choices in life. My choices have never had any effect on anybody else until today. Until this fabrication, this media blitz fabrication. And ladies and gentlemen in the States, this shit's coming. It's coming to you guys too. I heard the fearless leader, McSniffy, decide that you're doing it all as well. And it's not like it's a surprise that he's doing it. You know, the rollout was a few other places. They're all united. All the governments united. It's a big fucking show. We're watching this show. And the cool thing is, once you see this and once you understand this, and again, this isn't supposed to be a downer episode. I really do apologize if it came across that way. It's just a fucking thought exercise. An episode that you could share with a friend. Be like, listen to this, fuck. Just listen to what this guy's got to say. Whoever this fucking guy is, fuck. Because why not? We do not have anything to lose at this point other than everything that they're already taking away from us systematically. Right? And just like the boiling lobster, it doesn't hurt if we get put into the cold water and slowly boil. If we get thrown into the boiling water, it's chaos. Imagine somebody who's been in a coma for so long and they wake up and they're like, what? I can't do this. I can't do that. You've stuck me with what? Where can I go? Where can't I go? What am I allowed to do? What the hell's happening right now? It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And then you got the Emmys. Oh, well, it's a television production, so they don't need masks. Oh, okay. All right. So we're the peasants. Understood. All I'm trying to say, I suppose, and all this sort of stuff is, yes, welcome to it. I'm a second-class citizen. It feels good to be here. I support this position, and I will stand here. I will die on this hill. It's important to me. America, dissension is coming. Prevent yourself from fighting your neighbor because it's your neighbor who has the cup of sugar. It's your neighbor who's got your back. It's never been the government. The government's been pitting us against each other much longer than we were ever even able to understand or fathom. It's a big one, man. And this podcast, I got to reiterate, it's a motivational podcast. Maybe not this episode, but yes, this episode, because we need to unify. We need to focus on what we're doing with each other. We need to be a solid unit. And if we don't fight each other for long enough, then all of us start looking at the people that are trying to make us fight each other. Mandates aren't law. So every single person that's ever said to you, you can't come in here, every single place of business that said to you, you can't come in here, they bowed out of fear to a government who could crush them and take their money away. Which implies again that we are all slaves to the almighty dollar. There are so many layers, there are so many things. I can decompress this for hours and hours and hours. But I'm not gonna waste your time with it. The bottom line, the end message to this entire episode is it doesn't matter where you stand. The information that you have is wrong, whether you're pro or anti. It's all wrong because it's all been fed to us. And it's all been designed to rile us up. And if this episode riled some of you up, I'm sorry about that. But this is an observational truth. And I know that we've done the research and we can connect the dots and we can tie all this stuff in together. But who's to say that those dots that we've been tying in haven't also been handed to us in the purpose of delusion? Who's really in control? Who's really running the show? Who's really doing this? Is it you? Are you doing this? Are you the observer of this? The actual curator of this? We don't know. All we know is what we know. And all we know now is more than what we knew yesterday. And what we knew yesterday was more than what we knew the day before. So hopefully what we know tomorrow will be even more truthful than what we know today. And we keep going. as long as you guys make damn sure that you don't feel anxious, anxiety, depression, anger, anything that's unnecessary, anything that no longer serves who you're trying to become. Because this world is yours. We grow, we adapt, we change, we work around, we overcome. This is our battle to overcome. This is our choice to win. And winning is happiness. Winning is a proper sense of joy in what you're doing. But to feel anger, to feel angst, and to feel depressed, that's losing. That's what they're trying to make us feel. So take everything with stride. Take every conversation with a grain of salt and try to help those that still consume fluoride, that still have this pineal gland blockage, that still have this understanding that we're reliant on certain things. Because again, it's up to you to help them, and it's up to them to exist so that you can expand who you are through helping them. Ladies and gentlemen, in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
Thank you for listening to today's Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag MMA and Mental Mastery Alliance. Want more motivation? Be sure to follow online on Instagram at Mental Mastery Alliance and on Facebook at Mental Mastery Alliance. And remember, your perception creates your reality. Make it a great day.
You got it, Pontiac.